Good morning, brothers and sisters in Christ. Sister Sarah here. I know it's been a couple weeks. I'm sorry. But I might as well turn to YouTube because clearly I have lost 3 Instagram accounts. I've took Twitter off. I'm still not convinced I need to go back there yet. And now Elon Musk is talking about bringing back Vine. If he brings back Vine, that will put a lot of pressure on TikTok, which would be awesome because this is ridiculous. You can't even put the most stupidest, not even, the 3 videos that just got taken down for guideline, community guideline. And it wasn't even, there was no hate speech. It was very innocuous. But because you have your bio says something, you're targeted. You're completely 100% targeted. And it's ridiculous. It's getting to the point where I can't even post the stupidest crap. And it's crap. I'm not putting anything on there that everybody else isn't putting on there. But then the left can go on and they can say stuff like, that, we should lock up the unvaccinated. We can go on and on and on. I mean, it is ridiculous. They can go on there and spew the most rancid, just literal hate speech, and nothing happens to them. And it's to the point now where both my TikTok accounts have guideline restrictions, and I can't post until November 4th, and it's just stupid. They make it to the point where it's not even enjoyable anymore. And for us creators I have been doing this since 2018. And, me and Instagram, they just asked me not to come back. Like, I can't even, they do facial recognition. I don't know how they do it, but however they do it. And we've parted ways. And I'm okay with that. They make money on us. And this is what people don't understand. They make a grip of money. We are monetized. They literally monetize us. And they're making money off of us hand over fist. And we are a joke. And there's more of us than there are of them. And now this thing with Twitter, Elon Musk, I love him. He really has now shown it. And now finally they're getting fact checked. Like Joe Biden the other day got fact checked. I don't think they know what to do because they've never had to be accountable for the running of their mouth. They've never had to be accountable for anything. And it's to the point now where, the rubber's about to meet the road. But if you were watching last night, they had the Brazilian election, and it was exactly, and see how in Brazil, what you got to understand about Brazil, they don't have paper ballots. They don't have any paper ballots. Everything is done electronically. Everything. So they can't go right back and say, oh, well, then maybe we should recount this, blah, blah, blah. No, they can't. They cannot recount because there is no actual paper ballot. So they're blocking the freeway. They're blocking the entrance to the airport. It is bad. And Brazil, you have to understand, they just signed a big old paperwork thing with China and Russia with BRICS to make their monetary system all electronic and going strictly to digital, some form of digital currency. Well, if I was living in Brazil, I wouldn't want it to be only digital currency. If you just prove to us, you could see it was exactly like 2020. It was that you saw the spike and you could see where right at a certain time it just switched. They knew exactly how much to put in, and it was like so obvious. It was like even a kid could understand. Joe Biden could have understood this. I mean, you could see it right on the screen. You could watch it happening on the screen, just like on 2020. And we're going into this 2022 election thinking that, oh yeah, they're not going to cheat. They tell you what they're going to do before they do it. And whatever they accuse us of doing, the reason they're accusing us of doing, they're doing it. It's no different than a husband and a wife where the husband or the wife is cheating and they get all upset and constantly tell the other person that they're cheating. And the reason it's a guilt complex. It's like a guilt complex. They cannot hold it in because they know they're doing something wrong. So their guilt eats them. And then they automatically assume that the other person is cheating because they're cheating. And you have Hillary Clinton, who just got on her little soapbox and state that the far right is already planning to steal the 2024 elections. What? Is that any similar comments to when Biden came out right before the election and said that we have the most inclusive voting theft thing that there can be? Like, he came right out and said it. No, they said, oh, it was a gaffe. It was not a gaffe. His brain told the truth. His brain told the truth, whether it was a Freudian slip or whether it was planned. Either way, they have to tell you what they're going to do. That's just part of their whole thing, is they have to tell you what they're going to do. They're going to do it. And if you're naive enough, I drop my ballots off because I live in Oregon. Unfortunately, we do everything by mail. And even when you go back online and you try to trace where your ballot's gone, it just says does not give you any information. And it's really sad how they have it set up. But they did it on purpose. That's why Oregon has, in the last 20 years, has stayed blue. And I think once the 8th comes and goes, and we have proof, we already have proof, but I mean, look what's going on with Kari Lake. I think that if you do not debate, you should be disqualified. If you're not willing to come out onto a stage and tell us what your agenda is, and tell us what you're going to do for us, and tell us that, so that we can kind of get a clear view of what you're about, if you're afraid to debate your opponent, what are you going to do in a room with the cartel? What are you going to do in a room with somebody who's truly threatening your people? You're not giving a vote of confidence when you refrain and hide in the basement and say, I'm not going to debate. At least Fetterman, as much as is wrong with Fetterman, at least he had the balls, the cojones, to go up on stage. I feel so sorry for that man. I feel like he's been pressured into this, and they're paying him off really good, or they might not be. I don't know, but I feel sorry for him. I feel that whoever is in his inner circle is bending him over. And the minute he has another stroke, which will happen if they keep pressuring him like that, because he's in a vulnerable state right now. If you know anything about how the nervous system works, he should be at home. He should be at home. He should be going to speech therapy. He should be concentrating on 100% his health, not this crap. Because it's not worth it. This political crap is not worth his life. But you know what? The left doesn't care. They don't care who they sacrifice. They don't care who they step on to get to the next rung. And they will sacrifice anybody they can. How I feel about the left, and it's not even the left. This is the thing. I used to be a Democrat, but the Democratic Party left me. They went so far left that it's just unrecognizable. And I grew up on a farm, and there's a thing called a Judas goat. And it's a black goat usually, right? But it's a Judas goat. That goat will lead the other goats to slaughter. Knowingly lead them to slaughter. And that is what this left party is. They have no facts behind them. And when they can't give you facts, they go for personal attack. And that's why Katie Hobbs doesn't want to debate Kari Lake, because she's cost Arizona twice over $1 million lawsuit for racism. Yeah, she got sued, legitimately cost the state money because she was so blatantly racist. But no, they're not. She doesn't want to get up on stage and do anything to, I don't know, maybe give her side of the story, hear what she's got to say about it. I mean, I don't know what she would be able to say to prove that she is what she is or what she's not. We're not asking for a lot. We just want you a fair fight. We want a fair fight. And, it goes back to the 90s when my kids were little. I was coaching their soccer team, and they came out, and I remember we had to go down and pick up like the awards, the trophies, and then they were giving a trophy to every single child. Now look, I get the participation ribbon and all that, but you're disincentivizing them to want to work harder to be better. We learn from our failures, not from our successes. I mean, you learn, yes, the success of that you learn that you fall down, you get back up, and you try again, and you try again, and you try again. But we're now teaching. I watched a video on TikTok, and I felt sorry about this kid, but he was working at Starbucks, and he was having a meltdown in the back office because he had to do 25 hours of work a week. And he was literally, this man was, I don't even know, a man, he was a boy, was crying because he didn't feel, he wants to unionize Starbucks. That's not going to happen. And it just, if these guys had to go to war, if this generation had to go to war, if they had to, if you don't think Starbucks cares about you, go in the military. Yeah, go in the military. If you think that you're this prize winning whatever you are, go in the military. You're gonna get your ego checked. And that's the problem. They've been told since birth that they're perfect, they could do no wrong, that they deserve everything, that they don't have to work for it. You just have to go out there and take it. And that's what this Katie Hobbs thing is about. She doesn't want to be accountable for her own actions. Her own actions. Not even anybody else's actions. Her own actions. Actions that she ended up costing the taxpayers of Arizona millions of dollars. And that's just one state. And, Fetterman, we've already talked about that, but that's a whole nother thing. Georgia, that's another one. And, every time we're out there, I don't approach people if I see them in a Biden t-shirt, which I've never seen one ever. I was in Texas a couple weeks ago, and I saw one Beto sign, one. And instead of bringing actual work to the table, they bring in stars. They don't even live in that state. They seriously don't even live in that state. Why are you even doing that? If you're, it's manipulation at the highest order. And it's sad because they think you're dumb. I need you to hear this. They think you and I are stupid. And so saying that, they know what they're doing. And it's like Hobbs doesn't think that she has to come and debate Kari Lake. I mean, I get it. You don't want to debate Kari Lake because you don't have anything to debate with. You have nothing to bring to the table. When she was in a controlled environment, that she controlled the environment, she was with a Hispanic man and he asked her some simple, basic, easy questions. She couldn't answer it. So, look, between Fetterman, between Hobbs, Newsom, don't even get me started on the Papa Pelosi crap, because that's another Jussie Smollett. I guarantee you within the next 6 to 8 weeks, you're going to have a whole different scenario come out of that. But either way, look at them for what they really are. Truly look at them for what they are. By their actions, not by what's coming out of their mouth, because they can say, they'll blow smoke up your skirt, they'll pee on you and tell you it's raining. Just completely go by their works, what they've accomplished. What have they accomplished? What have they done to make the people of their state do better, to have better, to be a better state? She doesn't have it. Katie Hobbs cannot. And I just want you guys to be the smart people I know you are. And keep your powder dry. Because I, personally, I'm not holding my breath. I have a feeling Katie Hobbs is going to get elected. I have a feeling that Fetterman's going to get elected. And everybody's going to be, what? No, there's no way. I have a feeling about 11 o'clock on the 8th, 11 p.m., they're going to stop counting. There's going to be some water leak or whatever. I pray I'm wrong. But we have to go, just like I just told you, go by their works, go by what they've done. History will repeat itself. I hope it doesn't, but I'm not holding my breath. When I dropped those 2 ballots off yesterday in that drop box, I wanted to stake out the drop box, but you can't do that because then you're intimidating. You know, you intimidate them, we intimidate them by existing. Not even by saying a word. And I live in Oregon, where I live is pretty much all conservative. It's not until you get up into Portland. And every Oregonian here will tell you. They'll go, do you want to go to Portland? Oh, nope, I'm good. I don't care if there's the specialist of all specialists at the hospital up there. Nope. I don't want to have anything to do. My son wanted to move to Portland. He thought of it, and my son is liberal, whatever, but it's too he grew up in LA, and he's like, nope, it's too dangerous for him. The saying for Portland was keep Portland weird. I don't have a problem with weird. None whatsoever. I have a problem with now you can't even walk down the street. You can't even, they used to have this beautiful park that you could they had all these food trucks around the street. And you could go on like around the world foods. I mean, they had everything from Greek to Italian to Chinese. It was just like you could go around and try every food that you can think of. They can't do that anymore. The park is full of homeless. There's a famous bookstore in Portland that's been around for almost 100 years, 50 years, something like that, like forever. They can't open. They can't stay open because they can't, people will not walk over the homeless encampment to get into the store. So, I mean, look at AOC's district. They put this big old tent out there, and for all the migrants, 5 migrants. That's it. 5 showed up. 5. It's got like 200 beds. They spent all this money on it. 5 people. So, look. I want you all to keep your powder dry. Realize what you're dealing with. Don't hesitate to defend yourself in the correct way. But no, crazy's out there. And let's keep our fingers crossed. Today's Tuesday, the 1st. In 7 days, I'm going to make a post right out this next week. The day after, I'll have my new hair. Somebody my new extensions. But yeah, I'll be on before that because I need to start. Obviously, I'm going to get kicked off of every other platform. So this might be all I have left. I know I have no followers, but at least I feel like I can get this off my chest and feel like I'm not completely alone. Because I feel completely alone sometimes. So keep your powder dry. Pray. Pray, 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 pray. And pray some more. And let's hope that history doesn't repeat itself. If it does, well, we have been patient and we have been sitting around on our hands for a long, long time, and you're pushing people. And I'm a calm person, and I'm a redhead. It took me a long time to bring my temper down. I have a long fuse, but so let's just pray that we have an election and Fetterman doesn't get elected and Katie Hobbs doesn't get elected. But I have a feeling, because they already said Georgia will take a few weeks to figure out. Weeks to figure out who won. I remember a time when in the 80s, by 11 o'clock at night, 11 at night, that was with paper ballots where you put your thumb. I used to work the polls in Lomita, California, and they had to come in, they had to show their ID, and then they go in the booth, and they put their thumb on a little ink blotter thing, and they put their thumbprint on there. And by 11 o'clock at night, by the time my poll was closed at 9, and they picked up the ballots, by 11 o'clock, we had about 80 to 95% of the precinct counted and already saying what the results are. And that was in the 90s, 80s and 90s. And here we're in 2022 with all this technology, and we can't. Come on now. All right, all my brothers and sisters out there, keep your powder dry. I love you. Pray, because we're going to need it.